Ross Ulbricht, the founder of Silk Road, was committed for crimes involving money laundering, computer hacking, conspiracy to traffic fraudulent identity documents, and conspiracy to traffic narcotics by means of the internet. Per the articles that I've read from doing my own research, this week's videos and articles, it appears that he's kind of in between two crossroads on the war on drugs and between the war on cyber criminal crime. And in doing so, I think it most likely pushes white collar crime, the category of that for this crime. It pushes it kind of to the side because of where the crime falls between. He most likely is using this business that he's created on the dark web more so as a means to push and pull narcotics rather than, yes, money laundering is a factor, but all in all, between the two factors of drug trafficking and cybercrime in doing so, would probably categorize his crimes more so related to the drug trafficking world of the dark web, conspiracy to traffic narcotics, and money laundering from of which narcotics sold gave him monetary gain. Crime is defined as a non-violent crime where the primary motive is typically financial in nature regarding a person of high social rank or respectability, and considerably most crimes are committed by a professional. And if we look at Ulbricht's career, he was between jobs from an article that I read on Investopedia. He tried to make ends meet as a day trader, then switched to a job of developing video games, then switched to cultivating a website that sold books online. Additionally, on his educational background, he graduated from Penn State, so I wouldn't say that he was of a high social rank or respectability regarding any career or profession. Debatably, his crime could be considered nonviolent. However, the exchange of narcotics could categorize it as violent. Regarding the status of Ross Ulbricht's website, multiple medications and illegal substances were transferred to multiple users through the avenue of the dark web. I feel that this aspect of the crimes that he committed overshadows the aspect of money laundering, which white collar crime is highly categorized by, through the usage of selling narcotics, which I think at this point would be the high main status of how people viewed the case and how it relates to a drug trafficking crime. Using the video on an interview with Alex Winters, he described the judge who sentenced Ulbricht as using him as an example. The crimes committed ruined the social fabric of society, more so on the points of drug trafficking, which pertains to the selling and delivering of narcotics, and the war on the cyber crimes that have been committed, especially now in the 21st century. The Tor browser is a web browser that anonymizes the identity of the user while looking at websites or browsing through internet sources on the Tor network itself. Cool that I read on The Guardian, which is basically a website that kind of examines the privacy that we have with technology, said that it could be used as an avenue to access the dark web. Additionally, the Tor browser is connected with Silk Road because Silk Road was basically a link or like a portal that users had access to while browsing on the Tor network. The usage of the Tor browser or browsers like so, I think it's important that government officials or businesses that are of high ranking, like the IRS or the FBI, CIA, I definitely think that they should have programs that implement that type of privacy. I think it's important that laymen don't have the availability to hack very secure and important documents regarding war or things that could put the American public at risk. And I think for some big businesses, it's important to have that to prevent hacking and prevent the illegal usage of things. However, I think with implementing a private browser, it's important that possibly a third party is monitoring the usage of high ranking officials such as CEOs, because in turn, there could be basically kind of a way for higher ranking officials to get into white collar crime, money laundering. That kind of ties it back to the other points in the first questions that were asked. So I think utilizing a program such as a Tor browser, it's an interesting idea, and I think it's a very innovative way to privacy. However, I think if it's used correctly and audited properly, then I think it could be successful in big business. But I don't think all the kinks are worked out in order to do so. Overall, I would categorize Albright's crime as more of drug related, and I think it's really interesting how the judge used him to make an example out of, i.e., not giving him an option for parole and giving him a life sentence. However, I think it really shows the importance of these type of crimes, especially when you're involving cybercrime, drug trafficking, and money laundering. I think all of those factors really determined for the judge how they were going to rule. And regardless of Albright being a first time offender, he still got life without prison. Thank you for listening.